Hello everyone, this is the Paper Princess and we're continuing work on the, well not work, we're continuing our fun on the Fairy Wings album, and now we're on the second half of the book, page 6. I have my pocket page with my 6 up here and I'm gonna cut these flaps with you. So if you just want to write this down, flap A is going to be 8 7/8 by 8 1/8. So 8 7/8 is 2 lines before 9, and 8 1/8 is 2 lines after the 8. And B flap, 8 7/8 again by 7 3/4. C is a pocket. It is 8 5/8, which is 2 lines after 8 1/2 by 4. If you happen to have a leftover piece that's like 4 1/8 or 4 1/4, sometimes that happens. Just go ahead and use it. Your pocket will just be a smidge deeper, and that's fine. D, you need 2 cuts, 2 Ds. So they are both 6 3/4 by 4 1/8. Okay, so let's get cutting. We'll try this. All right, so when I make my cut, I have the linen side facing up. So I'm gonna do 8 7/8 is right 2 lines before the 9. I'll save this little piece because that comes in handy. I think the ephemera, small ephemera cards fit on that. By 8 1/8. Go up to the 8, go 2 lines more. I'm gonna label this A. So B is 8 1/8. 8 7/8, so 2 lines before 9 by 7 3/4. Label that one B. Okay, so C is our pocket. I'm gonna look in my little stash of scraps over here and see if this is 4 inches. It is. It's just a little hair bigger than 4, but I'm gonna just leave it at that and cut 8 5/8, which is, I'll go up to the 8 1/2 and then continue on 2 more lines than that. I'll save that. That's the size of an ephemera card approximately. So C, and then D. We need 2 of these. Let's see. It's another scrap. I'm gonna try to use my scrap. 6 3/4 by 4 1/8. So go up to the 4 and go 2 lines beyond that. Ooh, okay. That was just right. D. Now let's take another scrap. Let's see. Make sure this is 4 at least. It is not. And that is, so 6 3/4 again. Actually, I could use that. I'm gonna use that. All right. By 4 1/8. 2 lines after the 4. I think that's right where we are. Maybe a little hair comes off here. Okay. And that's D also. All right, so let's bring out your scoreboard and we'll start from the beginning. Put these in order. So A. So A is going to be a right flap. So I want to score 1/2 inch with the 8 1/2 inch side facing the top. That's probably this one. No, 8 1/8. make sure this is 8 1/8 here. Yes, okay. It just looked a little hair short. But I'm gonna have that 8 1/8 inch side facing the top, and I'm gonna score 1/2 inch. B is the left flap. I'm gonna have the 7 3/4 inch side facing the top. Okay, C is our pocket. So let's have the long side facing the top. Take our 2 D's here, and we're going to score with the 4 1/8 inch side facing the top, and these are going to go on top of the A flap. Oh, it'll be the one on the right, yeah, so that's the A flap. Alright, so there's that one, and then this one. Alright. So now we will tape everything. So you guys are probably becoming pros at this on the 6th page, and you can see the rhythm, you know, you just cut your flap, tape it, you know. Sometimes the magnet placement, you got to think about that a little bit. But you can always try things, and if your ends curl up, you can take the magnet off and just put it somewhere else or add one if you need it. You can always change things as you go. If you do something and it's just not working, you can always change it. Alright, so press all these down and fold them. Set that aside. We'll make our cut on that pocket. All right. Scissors. I have a little pencil holder up here that holds my scissors and pencils and all kinds of things, so I can, they go, you lose them under all this paper sometimes, so I like to have them in one place. And my bone folder goes in there usually. Okay, so let's take off that bottom piece. Set that aside, and let's bring this pocket page down. We've got our 6. I know I'm facing the right direction. And let's take A. So where is that pencil mark? Okay, that one's A. And A is going to go on the right-hand side. So I'm just going to turn this. And I am going to round this edge. I'm going to give it a medium round. it lets people know. They can see a little bit of the paper underneath. It lets you know you can open that. And it looks nice. But that is a personal preference. If you want to give it a small little corner edge, if you want to leave it squared off, you can do that. So I'm going to bring it down here. I have just a little tiny bit at the top and bottom, little space, and I'm going to guide it to the edge and just let go. Okay, and then let's turn that over and put the B flap, and I am going to give this one, you can either do a small or medium edge if you want. I'm going to give that the same medium edge. And that's going to go there, and there'll be plenty of room before that score line. Alright, so I have just my little bit of space, same as before, and guide it to the edge. And there you go. Okay, then let's do the pocket. The pocket, make sure I'm facing the right direction. Oh, my number's covered up here, so wait, no, here it is. Make absolutely sure you are facing the right direction. Peek at the other side. Okay, 6, I do see it over there. So let's put this at the bottom, and I'm just going to have a little bit of space on each side so these left and right flaps can fold over this pocket. And I'm just going to bring it to the bottom. All right. This way. Okay. Now, these flap doors here, I am going to give it a little edge corner rounding, but like on the other pages, we're going to have to put our paper down first. Okay, so I'm going to hold that over for a second and then work on this magnet placement. And these are nice big doors, so what I want to do is have magnets on both ends, not just one in the middle. If I have one in the middle, I feel like these will curl up. So let's get our magnets. So when we put this down, I'm going to have to hold those other papers down. Alright, you ready? So I want to hold this down and then bring it over and then press down. Okay, that's gonna go like that. And then this, I am gonna want 2 magnets under this B flap. I'm gonna need another package. will show you where those other flaps go on top of the door. Well, the A flap. These are little door flaps. So I'll show you. Okay, so let's put this down first. I'm going to hold down the pocket. That goes there, this goes here. Okay, so these are going to wind up being little flaps like that on top of this pocket. And then I'm going to put a small ephemera card right here and hold that down with a magnet like we did on the other page. So I'm going to have, basically I'll take my little example card here. Once you put these down, we're going to want magnets on, let's see how I did this. All right, so for these, I'm just going to put magnets in the middle and put that down, then put the design paper on, and then we're going to have an ephemera card right here. It's going to go in the middle, and what you do is you take your pencil mark where you want to, where it goes on this top flap, and you put score tape on the other side, stick it to that top flap. The bottom flap does not have any tape on it, and you can put a magnet underneath, which lands on top of this pocket. All right, so what you need to do for this, let's put our magnets right in the middle on the bottom here for now, to remind you that before you put your paper down, you have to put the other magnet down. So let's do that now. But we can't take this tape off of that and put that down yet. Yeah, so this book is probably best to make the pages like we're doing now and then decorate, as opposed to making the whole book and then decorating all at once, just because there are at least 3 of these pages that you have to put that decorative paper down first. And you just don't want to forget about your magnets. Worst comes to worst, you can lift up the paper with the undo. And I've had to do that before when I forget a magnet. Okay, so let's do like we did before and put this magnet down. Okay, so I am not putting this tape down. I'm just holding it where I want it to be. So basically, let me just do a dry run here and hold it. And I'm looking to the top and the bottom, and I have about a ½ inch on each side. So that looks good. So I know I want my top flap to be right around here. And I'm looking left and right, and there seems to be the same amount of space. So I'm just going to press that down. Okay. So I'm going to put that one back there. This is where it'll be. I can hold it down with something. And then I take this, line it up so that I have a little bit of space in between here. I got even space there because it's lined up here. And then I will press that magnet down. Okay. And that's where it's going to go. I'm not going to peel off the back here until I put the paper down, which I will show you right now what I made. I did round these. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay, so this is what I did over here. So our A flap, the right flap, has this pink ombre. It's got a little bit of orangey pink in there. And underneath these flaps here, I put a little strip also. So you can put pictures there and they'll be covered up like that. And you can put pictures underneath here. Now, before you put this bubble paper, it's the pink flower bubble paper, you put your card there. Take this card. It's a little smaller. I believe this one came off of one of the, there's a sheet of paper in there that has different card cutouts in it. So that's where that one came from. And so I put that on black, matted it, put my pencil line under here, and then put score tape underneath from here up. Put it there. Put the magnet first under there, and before I put this paper, put a magnet here. And that's it for that. If you want on the other side, you can put another, you know, small card, but it doesn't need it really. You can just decorate back there. The same color I used here. I believe this paper came from the Patterns and Solids. Then you open this flap. I've got the pink butterfly paper over here. Same, no I don't, I have the same over there. I think there wasn't enough. So I used the pink gingham over here. This is another piece from the A flap. I put that there. Cut out some bubbles that was left over in that pink bubble paper. These are the booklets that I chose. These were all leftover pieces. This was such a pretty leftover little piece, and I couldn't do too much with it, but when you put it on a photo mat and put a paper underneath and just that part sticks up, it looks great. So I'm glad I didn't waste that piece. It's so pretty. So we have that. You can make as many as you want that fit in here. And here's the fairy wings paper. This is the paper with that fairy sitting in the middle. You get a couple of pieces of that. And that's it. We are on to page 7 next, our last pocket page. And that has some interest going on in there, so stay tuned.